Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for more than 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. So today is Friday. I'm just going to do some quick housekeeping on a couple of things. So there's one I'm going to be listing live tomorrow, 11:30 Central. So come on by, stop and say hi. I'm going to be listing probably a bunch of the World of Warcraft trading cards, and I also got some books and strategy guides and stuff that I'm just going to try to work on and keep going until it dies down. And then the other two things is I had for eBay standard envelope, we had one of those cards. It was like a $11 Dark Age card. It ended up not getting all the way over to the place it's supposed to get. So the person put like item not received or whatever, and then they ended up winning the case. And then there was also like other issues with it, but they ended up winning that case. But I was able to submit eBay standard envelope has some protections for sellers. So like you can get your money back as long as you do everything proper. So I had Anetta submit a form. So we end up getting that covered by eBay. I know a lot of people don't like the eBay standard envelope because they don't trust it because the tracking is not like perfect. It's not the best compared to like Ground Advantage or Priority Mail. But the fact that they covered us, at least this is the first time we used that protection and it worked out. So it feels pretty good. So we haven't had any issues with the eBay standard envelope up to this point, other than it not getting there. So it sucked for the customer, but they got their money back and we also got the money back because of a different protection. So that worked right there. And then the other thing I wasn't going to believe until I saw it was, I think it was in September updates, there was something where I briefly read, I'll click on the little eBay news articles on like the homepage, just to like take a glance sometimes to see what's happening. And if you have an item not received case, as in the customer hasn't gotten their item within like a time frame, the post office takes a bit too. Sometimes they're like delayed, understaffed, whatever the reason, the item is going to take way longer than normal. Sometimes they'll even put it in the tracking like this got re-updated because it's running late. If you use an eBay shipping label, like you pay for your label through the eBay program, which we always do, and it gives you a discount, which is good. And then as long as you handle the case, like you refund the customer before eBay has to step in, I believe, if you refund them and then a couple days after that, like the case is opened or at the end of the case, if it actually gets delivered, you can actually call up eBay and talk to them and you actually get your money back. So we had like one of the stove grill sold for like $12. I was just curious how this process worked. It was like the exact scenario. They messaged me. They were very nice. They were just like, items running late. I waited it till the last day just because I'm like, oh, it just looked like it was running late. And then before the last day, I just refunded them. And then I saw the item get delivered 2 days later. So we called up and then we got the money back for that. So it's cool that's actually like a big deal, at least for me, the fact that you're allowed to like refund. Normally I didn't like to refund right off the bat when someone has an issue. I like to give it to the last day because the post office is late a lot of times. So I just like to wait it out. But before, you wouldn't have any other option. We would have lost the money on the stove or the grill top, whatever the item was, and then it would have gotten delivered and it would have sucked for us. But like we would have moved on right in the past. But now the fact that we got our money back, so that's cool. That did work. Got to use it one time. So just letting people know, if you buy the eBay label and then you handle the case, essentially refund the customer before eBay's like final warning date. They'll be like, you have it till October 20th to deal with this case with the customer, and then you see it get shipped, call in, you can get your money back. All right, that was a lot. Okay, so and then also we finally had like, it was like 12 or 18 hour period where we only had like one sale, and finally a bunch of sales came in like every hour or so, or some offers every hour. Like finally had some stuff happening. It was kind of driving me crazy. And then I was listening to like 3 in the morning yesterday. I was just nuts. All right, first up right here is going to be C3I magazine. This is number 24. This is obviously not the magazine. These magazines, there's like 38 of them. They come with these different upgrade pieces for different board games. Sometimes they'll be board games themselves. These are some of the chit tokens for a game called Elusive Victory. So these for $10 plus shipping. Everything's going to be plus shipping. This next one is pretty cool. It's 1940 board game by Parker Brothers, I believe. This is called India right here. I got to be very careful with it. It's obviously pretty old, almost 100 years old-ish. And then, yeah, this one's pretty cool. It's missing a couple pieces, but just like check out this art. It's really beautiful right here. This stood out for me. I knew it might not go for like a crazy amount, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, that looks like an older cool game. It just popped out to me. $15 right there, so that's pretty good. All right, like I said, nothing too crazy. Moving along, we have this right here. This is going to be a board game board. This is a kind of a create your own board game. This is just the board. It's 18 inches, so it folds out into 4 squares. So it's going to be 18 inches by 18 inches. Someone's just going to go ahead and make their own board game. A lot of people like to make different types of board games. A lot of people theory craft. As long as you do like a good Kickstarter, you can really get a game off the ground. Or sometimes people just make games. I remember I made one for like a school project way back in the day in like 3rd or 4th grade, long time ago. I remember I randomly asked my teacher, I was like, oh, can I just make it like a board game about this historical event or something? And they're like, yeah, cool, go for it. And I remember getting like a whiteboard and then carefully like tracing stuff, making like different stuff. It was pretty cool. All right, $9 for that. Moving along, we have this right here. This is going to be Good Critters board game promo pack. I don't know anything about this board game, but it looks like you have a bunch of these. So these are promos, so extra cards for the game, but it looks like a animal mafia style cartoon animated like board game type of deal. So it's probably like a competitive one. So yeah, it's called Good Critters, so that's pretty cool. $8 for that. The board game promo pack, people get to add those cards and stuff to their games. People like to accessorize their board games all the time. I like to too as well. All right, next up. So this one is interesting. This is going to be a popcorn tin. This doesn't have popcorn in it, but it's a really cool like what's the thing where it's like bumpy, embossed, maybe. So like there's like you can feel this all over. It's a nice little Christmas setting, waiting for Santa Claus. You got the chair, the presents, the firehouse. Oh my god, I can't think of it. I'm losing my mind. It's okay. It's okay. It's a pretty good quality one. People use these tins to repackage stuff for different gifts. I realized that's another use for different tins. There was also one year, a couple years ago, I was trying to get my brother like a popcorn Christmas tin, and they were just like sold out everywhere. I remember going to like 5 or 6 places, and I was like, okay, this is probably why people buy tins, and then they get to put their own gift inside. So this is a pretty big one, sold for $17.59. I do like selling tins, but I don't have a lot of space now, so I kind of don't pick them up as often unless if they're like super rare or unique. But that's a good quality one. All right, fireplace, not firehouse. Holy moly! All right, next up we have this. These I have to like read it off. These are Warhammer 40k. I got some Necrons. They are Treyarch Praetorian. That sounds very pretentious. So yeah, it's like 6 of them right here. Got this like a Necron army from someone. It was like an older one. They were kind of hard to like figure out what they were. I didn't really use many tools other than like a reverse image search and stuff like that, or talking to the person who sold them to me. And then these 6 figures sold for $63.99. Warhammer people pay up for this game. It is a very expensive game. These are pre-primed so they can paint them. Necrons are kind of, I think they're kind of like the Terminator type of robotic figures. I think that's kind of like their whole thing. I think they also have like dark magic and stuff, so like kind of necromancery. Never technically played Warhammer 40k, but I'm pretty sure that's like a good baseline to think about it for someone else that also doesn't know it. All right, moving along, we have Illuminaria right here. These are going to be some vintage Halloween lights from 2000. I plugged these in. They're little pumpkins. They work. Obviously, Halloween's around the corner, so it's really cool. I got 2 of these from a storage unit flipper. When I originally got them, I was like, oh, I hope they light up. I hope they light up, because they're still cool, pretty cool decorations. Sometimes even like these fancy lights that don't work are still cool decorations hanging up. And then sometimes people are really crafty and they know how to like fix stuff like this if they're not working. $35.99 for these pumpkin lights, string lights. They are a good quality one. I had another set. All right. This next one, this customer's message like touched me. This is like probably my favorite sale. It's not even the most expensive one, not even close. We have 2 cartoon dog glass cups. They're like smaller ones. So you have, this is the one that the lady wanted. It's a red dog chewing on a bone, and then there's also this green dog with like a sweater or something. Oh no, chewing on some shoes. And then she sent a message that she was excited that I listed the red dog one because her husband broke this glass, like hers that she has, the same one, this morning, and he felt really bad. So then she ended up finding mine, bought it, and then she set a note with this whole story in it. And she's also excited to have like she's like, oh, now the glass is going to have its green dog little buddy. I don't know, it just touched me. It was a great one. I like it when like I get to salvage an item. I don't even remember where we got those at this point, honestly, but $12.80. That's my favorite sale for the day. It was a really sweet thing. All right. Next up is going to be this Marvel Multiverse RPG. This is just a D6 die right here. The Marvel is going to be the 1 when you roll it. It's like a bigger die. It's like 24 millimeters or something. So this is a bigger one. This went to a repeat buyer for $3. A singular die from like a kit. You probably need more to play that one. I don't know if the Marvel Multiverse is vintage or if it's a more modern RPG set. I remember when I was looking it up, I remembered, but that was like I listed that like a month ago. All right, next up is going to be an empty tin Sage's Portal for dice. So people like to have different dice containers right here. So this is just what it looks like. It has like a little wizard coming out of like in a stoneway arch right there, or archway. This ended up going for $12. It's empty, so it doesn't have the dice it's supposed to have with it, or else it would have been worth a lot more. But yeah, players like to use different containers and dice bags. They even have like dice jails for when dice roll low numbers. They'll put them in a dice jail. People take dice seriously. I also take dice seriously, and then I play a lot of dice game. And I just she's always trying to be like, oh, that one was it was too sideways, so I get to re-roll. And I always tell her, you just got to trust the dice gods and just let the dice lie as it lies, and just let fate handle it. So I think I get better rolls because I believe in just letting the dice tell you what's going to happen. All right. Next up, we have this right here. 20, 30 millimeter green plastic miniature bases. These are just going to be little bases. People care about the size for their miniature game. They're going to go ahead and put a miniature on this. And I can actually show you guys, I don't know if you can see right here, but the Warhammer 40K, they also come with their own bases. These ones are circular. Some of the games use square ones. Some of them use like double square or rectangle ones. It really just depends on the miniature. But yeah, these sold for $19.99. So that's what players use them for. All right, next up is going to be an empty Pokemon Elite Trainer box. This is going to be the Pokemon Go set right here. It has a really cool, shiny Mewtwo. A bunch of people play Pokemon Go. I played a bunch back in the day as well. But like the set, I think it was a decent set for people. Pokemon's super popular right now. People use these containers to display cards, or sorry, on their shelf, and then they can actually house like 500, 600 cards, decks, sleeves, tokens. It's good for parents. Sometimes they get these to almost wrap up as a gift for their kid. I've seen people use these as like gift boxes, kind of like I was talking about the tin earlier. $9 for that. Nothing too crazy. If I had the cards, it'd be worth a lot more. All right, moving along, we have this Realms. This is going to be some kind of like 1991 little newsletter. It says like Traveler on the back, which is a sci-fi RPG. I think the thing that stood out for me right here is it says that this little, some kind of Road to, whatever this was, debuted at Gen Con in 1991. Gen Con is a super popular, one of the most popular board game conventions that exists. It's also gone through different locations. So anything with Gen Con, I kind of see as like a historical little piece. Even this little pamphlet, which is only a couple pages, sold for $10. So they might have gotten it for the Gen Con thing or for the whatever the Realms newsletter is. I like to sell like the paper ephemera stuff. It's really satisfying. All right, last up for the day is going to be these 87 through 204, some kind of Zombicide like upgrade kit cards. I've never played Zombicide. It's by Cool Miniatures or not. You pick a survivor. You usually get a character sheets, and then you're doing a bunch of different scenarios, usually fighting off zombies, defending a zone, rescuing someone. There's so many expansions to this game. There's so many upgrade kits. It's crazy. There's probably over like 500 different SKUs for Zombicide. No joke. You can like look it up on Board Game Geek. So I've only played the base game. I got it like demoed to me. I only played it for like 20 minutes. Wasn't my jam in 2013, but I understand a lot of people love this series. A lot of people like the cool miniatures or not, because they also like the miniatures that the game has. So these are just like various upgrade cards for one of the many upgrade kits. Whenever I get the Zombicide bits and pieces, I just kind of put them together and hope for the best. These are going international for $11.99. All right, that's everything. Maybe I'll see some of you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hope everyone has a good weekend.